Grown Folks Production.
In the mix.
With the commish, Nate.
Hello, everybody. Hello. What's up? Welcome to Press Pass Live, OMFL Draft Edition, season number 115. Let me welcome in my buddies. They're over here to my physical right, to video left. We got Mr. Maniac, commissioner of the Deuce, owner of the Buffalo Bills, at least currently. We got Mr. Trey, or let me point like this. We got Mr. Trey, owner of the Washington Commanders, and then this beautiful man with this beautiful beard down here, Mr. Randy of the Indianapolis Colts. Fellers, how's it going?
Doing awesome.
Doing fantastic. Hoping to get draft through and maybe get some in a little bit of hockey tonight if we got a couple guys around.
Well, you guys are looking beautiful, so let's get in here and let's try to make this thing happen. I'm going to be trying to skip around and do all kinds of stuff, and I'm being told it's going to be my pick before I even know it. What you guys can help me with is, well, just talk. Now. You can just talk. That helps out. It says 49ers. Oh, 49ers just picked. There you go. So you guys can talk. You can talk about the first round, which is already done. We're getting through here the second round. I'm going to go make my pick. I'll get us started, and then we'll take interviews in the fourth round, and we'll just try to have some fun. We'll make fun of the teams that do really bad, like me. We'll praise the teams that do really good, like the 49ers, and maybe even do a little incentives, because I didn't get to that last night. I hate these off seasons when they catch you at a weird time. So, fellas, y'all take it away. I'm going to come over here. You guys will look at my old ugly face, but you'll see those guys on the side. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick.
So I think outright, bravo to Twinkie for going against the QB narrative and going and drafting probably the best quarterback prospect the OMFL's seen in a good minute.
Yeah, I do look like a stud.
Which one's that?
What is his name?
The quarterback? Dixon?
It was Danny Dixon, yeah.
Yeah, that guy looked like, even before the draft, he looked like a beast. And then when Twinkie showed the stats on that dude, I was just like, my mouth kind of dropped to the floor. Like,
That's a guy that you expect to come from the college football games and then to get nerfed, but just doesn't.
Yeah, it's almost about the way it seemed like, that's for sure. Yeah, I tried to keep up with everybody's picks through the first round, but also think there was a couple other guys too. The one guy that the Cardinals picked, I think the wide receiver. I know I passed on him, and then Roger passed on him, which I think Roger was probably, if you would have just said, hey, a double dog dare you to take that wide receiver, he would have without any hesitation. But I think he kind of backed out, was a little afraid on some of the attributes. But man, he ended up having some nice speed, nice acceleration. He's young, and even though he may have stone hands right now, I mean that's one beautiful thing about the OMFL. You get the incentives. You can train him, focus train him every week now, and now you're looking at an absolute beast once we going into the next Madden. I mean, he'll still be able to contribute, I think, this season. I mean, he may drop 5 out of 10 deep balls or whatever, but still, if he connects on one of those, that's a big play. 99 speed, 94 acceleration, something like that. 95 acceleration. That's just can't train that. So
yeah, it made me regret trading out of the first round.
I don't know about you guys, but I got a punter on my eyes for my next pick.
We're talking punter, and we're talking, what, round 3, round 4? When's your next pick?
I was all like, did Priest take control of your body or something?
Yeah, we got punter, then fullback, and then third string quarterback, and I think I'll be done for the night.
Oh, jeez.
We will see if this thing auto progresses. The clock isn't working, but Lost Sniper said that it did progress all on its own. So we'll see. We're going to leave it. We're going to see what happens here. I'm trying to wrap my head around what's going on real quick. If you are not going to be at the draft, but you are in the chat, please go over to the Not in Draft and let me know so that we can keep a running list of guys who are not going to be here. Fellas, early start time. One full round. I didn't think we'd get here. I thought there was no way we're going to get one full round done. But we got one full round and technically what are we, 11 picks into the second round. So we're running through here, 12 picks through the second round. So we're starting to run through here. I'm going to keep an eye on this clock. We'll see. And if we have to, we will manually progress this thing.
Yeah, I don't see the clock clicking on my...
Yeah, the clock ain't moving on mine.
It definitely isn't. What I don't know, though, is if it's just not moving on the screen, but it is progressing. That I don't know. I don't even have a great way to time it. I don't know if you guys can help me maybe time it. Matter of fact, look, I can do this. I'll time it for the first one. This has been a weird draft. I can't even go back and talk about the draft so far. Maybe you guys have it to where you can tell me what you think the draft has been so far. Weird draft, very quarterback heavy. Finally, we haven't had one this entire cycle. Very offensive line heavy. Not many wide receiver playmakers, not many cornerback playmakers, some good safeties, but we've already seen a run on that. Overall thoughts, a round and a half through this draft. What are we thinking?
I'm at a loss for words for what just happened.
What just happened?
The number one true talent player falls to 45.
Well, this is You want to tell him, Maniac?
No, go ahead, tell him, Nate.
No, please. I break enough bad news to Trey, so.
Trey,
okay, what's bad news?
There has been every player picked before you that all has said number one true talent. So.
Yeah, it broke, it glitched, but I like your excitement. I like the passion behind it. So keep that vibe, keep that energy the rest of the night.
It was a good pick regardless. So
there you go. That's all that matters. I grabbed me I took a guy that was not originally favored on my board, but he was sort of there at the top, and his size caught my eye, so I went with him. And Grayson Brackens ended up being a hidden dev player, so. I'll see exactly where he starts at my linebacker. I need some defensive line before this thing's over, but I ain't got many picks. I got a third, a fifth, and then a seventh.
I think my favorite pick of the draft so far was Jermichael Hopkins, the running back that Kevin snagged.
Yes.
That dude looked like an absolute maniac.
Here's the one thing about that was a little weird, Randy, and I found this with my guy who had a great rookie season and sort of has been fairly average. I mean, top 10, but I still consider that fairly average. The acceleration is going to be key on that running back. 92 with the 97. My guy had the same thing. He was like really high in speed, but really low in acceleration. I really believe more than ever that really does matter. It's going to be interesting to see, how good of a player that guy ends up being.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
Kansas City with back-to-back picks here. Well, almost back-to-back picks.
Well, the sandwich of the Chargers.
Let me run through a couple of these. Elijah Boatwright goes to the Eagles. Antoine Harvin, left tackle, goes to the Dolphins. James Hill, free safety, goes to the Raiders. John Harris, a left tackle, goes to San Francisco, who has a plethora of picks after tanking a season. Dylan Charles, a defensive tackle, goes to the Bengals. Kendrick Ingram, a defensive tackle, goes to the Bucks. I needed those defensive tackles, fellas. Jaden Carver, a right outside linebacker, goes to the Rams. Will Robertson, a left outside linebacker, goes to the Titans. Dalton Quincy, a right tackle, goes to San Francisco. Grayson Brackens, a right outside linebacker, goes to the Saints. I was trying to check the time here. Jarrett Blade, what a great name, wide receiver, goes to the Ravens. Marcus Bailey, a middle linebacker, goes to the Bengals. Travis Craig, left tackle, over to the Commanders. Eric Smith, left end, to the Kansas City Chiefs. John Peel, a right end, goes to the Chargers. Back to the Chiefs. Then we got Bengals, Texans, Steelers, Bills. We're getting close to the 2-minute mark here, so we'll find out. I don't know. I feel like Shocks is on it. He's going to make his pick, so I don't know if we'll get to a place we can find out if this thing is working or not, or if I manually need to do it, but we'll find out here soon enough. Let's talk free agency, fellas. This was not a quote-unquote fast offseason, but it caught me at a bad time as a human. I had a graduation party to go back to, Mother's Day, off to work, just trying to play catch-up here. So I didn't get to really talk about the offseason, didn't really get to keep my finger on the pulse. What do we think about free agency, winners, losers, how free agency went this past year, and maybe some big names that you've seen move around?
If you had money, you won. I think the guys that really participated in free agency had the cap space, but there was a lot of teams I think was cap strapped, and so saw a lot of those guys really didn't have the ability to go in and really pick up some guys. I know like Randy, you picked up a couple of good pickups. That one wide receiver that you picked up was really nice. Good replacement for the guy you traded me. So
Yeah.
There were several others I thought that really improved. My brain's trying to think.
I think the clock is working because Jay Shock's fan just texted me and said it picked for him when he was trying to pick.
Well, there you go. So the clock is working. I won't worry about it. But we do need to get these picks in. So let's keep this thing going.
I think also Trey did a good job.
I was going to say that too.
So those are kind of the two, and I know you both are in here in this and stuff, but that's the ones that kind of come to my mind with the pickups that I saw that really could impact, I think, for the next season.
What you talking about? I did nothing.
Trey's like, shh, I want to fly on the radar.
I don't know if you guys can help look back at the chats and maybe help run through a couple of those first round picks. The ones that really stuck out to me with the quarterbacks, the guy that went number one, let's just be honest, that has Hall of Fame potential written all over. Like, you almost have to purposely screw that up if you're the Eagles. Now, listen, he's in cap hell. He's already paid the quarterback that's already on his team. He's paid 2 receivers that are just about dead on his team. So he's going to have to cut some money. He says he has a plan. I'm surprised he didn't make some trades to get out from underneath some of those contracts and move some of those players around. But you cannot deny that he got the number one true talent in the entire draft. I had to go look at the top 15 picks behind the scenes and make sure that those were not glitched out. It was showing everybody was top 5. I need to go make sure we were not introducing 75 X Factor superstar players from the draft into the league. Once I knew that was over, I didn't take notes. I didn't take videos. I didn't do anything. Just checked it, make sure we were good, and moved out. That guy I remember specifically because I knew I didn't have the number one pick, was going to be a superstar. 80 overall. I don't know if he's seen that yet. He's going to be 80 overall, superstar X Factor. He's big. He's fast. He's got a big arm. He can literally do it all. That started out this draft. And then we've seen a run on some safeties. We've seen some offensive line go. We've seen a lot of people kind of running around. What's up, Coffee? No thoughts. Okay, good. Good talk, guys. You're killing me here.
I was waiting for somebody to talk. So I was like, my pick is actually 2 picks away, so I'm
that's fair.
So y'all.
I guess we're going to talk with everybody in the chat because I did like the linebacker that you got in the draft. He kind of reminds me of the backer that I have that I imported over, and he's fast, got good acceleration, good size. When I say you, I mean you, Nate.
Well, what about the run that we've seen in the first round? Anything surprise you there? Again, we normally see runs on receiver, cornerback. That wasn't here. It was not as part of this draft.
I would say, in my opinion, it didn't surprise me because it's a good quarterback draft class, and money's a real thing. The salary cap's a real thing, and I think people know this is towards they got a guy they can bring over that's going to be cheap on the cap next year.
Yeah.
Next cycle. So that's kind of what jumps off the page to me there with the quarterbacks.
And with the run of safeties, it's the lack of cornerback talent in this thing. So instead of, having your guy that's manning up against the guy that's blazing on the receiver, it's the guy on the back end to make sure that he doesn't get by him.
So that Raj got locked out. It wouldn't let him select a player. I don't know if that happened to Shock's fan as well. Hopefully he'll be able to let us know something. Guys, again, in the chat, let me know if something weird happens and you get locked out. I'll pause it and we'll see if we can't figure it out really quick and keep this thing moving. So sorry about that, Raj. So much of this is sort of out of my control. I haven't even heard of any draft glitches. We noticed the play clock thing last time we had a draft, but none of this other weird stuff happened. And Raj said he'd done a ton of research and couldn't find anything anywhere. So we must have some kind of weird, rare glitch that EA clearly is not even going to think about because they are already way into Madden 26 by now. We got the Bills up now.
I blame on Hurt, Joker, and Tim because they somehow had a 3-way clinch for 7, 8, and 6 in the NFC.
I just tried to select my player and it won't. It says the clock is already passed.
Oh no! Try now.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Get back in there because I had to back all the way back out.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody to back out. If it gives you trouble, back out. So when it gets close,
It's telling me. It says the draft clock expired. Your staff has selected a player to draft for you. That's
Oh boy.
okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try to manually do this thing. So even if you back all the way out, Maniac.
yeah. Let me back all the way back.
Quickly close your game, fire it up, and then come back in. No one else is saying anything except for Raj and Maniac. So I've seen Little Koch's had picks. Me and Trey both got picks in. So it seems to be weird and just hitting some of you. So some of you, if it gives you that problem, you need to say something so I can pause, and then you need to back all the way out and see if that works. I don't know if it will or won't. We're going to try to figure this out together. Worst case, I'll go manual, but boy, that's going to suck.
The guy that I do want to pick is the only one left on my favorites, so it should select him anyway. But
It's still saying the same thing.
It's still loading back in.
Okay.
Taking.
Yeah, Lil Koch said he had no problems picking. I didn't. Clearly, Trey didn't. I feel like it's going to hit all the commissioner. Well, no, because Little Koch is a commissioner.
Let's see. Okay, I just got it load back in. Fixing it.
Boy, EA, I appreciate this.
I mean, at least it's at the end of the cycle.
That's true. That is true.
There we go. It actually let me pick.
Okay,
Chad
so
Smith.
if you are having trouble, you need to say something in chat ASAP. I will pause it. You have to back out, close your game, load back up, and we'll let you do it. That's the only thing that we can do here. So over to the Cardinals and Mr. Joker. Then we're over to Tim and the Lions, Fleury and the Falcons, Meek and the Seahawks. I haven't... can we have one draft that runs normal? Well, Tim, most of them ran normal until last time. It looks like Meek is out. So we will skip Meek and we will skip the Titans. And we'll keep this thing running. I will... Oh, Joker says he can't pick. So let me pause. Joker, just what we said. Back all the way out. If it isn't your pick now, which it ain't, because it's just Joker, all of you should back out. All of you should close your game, load back in, and let's see if that fixes the problem. I'm starting to think when I hit resume, if you're in the franchise, it's going to lock you out. So all of you, after I hit resume for Joker, you should either back out then and rejoin, or you should just let me know in chat that you can't pick and we'll figure it out. This is going to suck. I don't know that I'm doing this for 7 rounds, y'all. This is where I don't know that I have that kind of long-term patience, but we'll do our best here. Season 114 ended with the champion Carolina Panthers, a dark horse, one could say, coming out of nowhere. We all knew that the owner had the skill set outside of Carolina, going all the way and winning a really tight, close game there in OMFL Bowl number 114. Any other surprises stick out to you?
I was definitely really surprised that for the Houston, pleasantly surprised for the Houston Texans making the playoffs. I think.
Hold on a second, man. Joker, I don't want screenshots. I don't have time. I don't have time to go look at your Discord. I told you what to do. I believe you. Back out, close your game, come back in. I don't have time to answer DMs. I don't have time. Like, I'm busy. Y'all see what I'm doing here. I got 18 screens going. Just do what I ask. Please, help me. Please, I'm begging you.
I do think he posted something about he's going to have to go to the airport to help his friend or something. He was going to be remote in, so...
Oh, Joker?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he posted earlier in the main chat, so that maybe the issue.
He's on a TV.
Yeah, I mean, I told him he's just got to close this game back out. So I'm telling everybody once again, there you go. See it work. It's amazing what happens when we just listen to instructions. I'm going to resume draft again. Tim, it's over to you. Yeah, sorry, Joker. I don't know another way to say this that doesn't sound rude, because I'm not being rude. I love you. Not upset, but I don't care. I don't have time to look at screenshots. You told me it wasn't working. I paused it. Cool. Just close your game. Get back in here. Hopefully we don't have to do this for everybody, because it's just going to bog this draft down. And yeah, there's no way I'll have to skip some rounds, because there's no way I could do that. Tim, let me know what happens for you, Tim. And if you're in here, again, once I hit resume, I personally would close your game, load your game back up, and then rejoin. And I'm guessing here. We're all guessing at what it might be. Hopefully we can figure it out. Anyway, Maniac, I cut you off.
What was I talking about?
We were talking about. I don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about surprises. All right. He can't pick either. Okay. Real quick. I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to have to manually do this. So I will skip it. I will manually keep my. I don't even know how to do this, y'all. I'm going to let them talk. I'm going to get my laptop. I'm going to set it up. I will manually start skipping this. I will just tell everybody when you got 30 seconds. I'm not sitting here counting down every pick. Get your stupid picks in. Don't take 2 minutes. That's all I can tell you. So you guys talk. I'm going to get my laptop set up, and we're just going to manually get this thing going.
Man, this sucks.
Plan B, I guess.
Leave it to the final draft leading into a playable season for things just to go absolutely haywire.
Yeah. Thank you, EA. Thank you, EA. Just kind of get back on the what he asked me and stuff, that Roger and the Houston Texans making a good run, and he actually had a really good game in the playoffs against I believe he played Denver.
Yeah.
And he played him really good. And so I mean, just the simple fact, you look at that, Denver made it to the OMFL Bowl, and Roger was just a few plays away from making it there. So definitely excited to see that for Raj. Nobody probably in this league probably deserves that more than Raj, because he's just put in so much. But that was a pleasant surprise. I really, and I'm really surprised that I know Bird, he won in the Deuce Madden League or whatever before, and he's beat some really good guys. But I was really surprised that he beat Dwayne the way he did, and the domination, I think, on the offensive line, or just the line of scrimmage in general on both sides of the ball. So that was kind of a surprise for me that got him into the OMFL Bowl.
Yeah, we talked about it beforehand. He needed to slow the run game down, and my lord, did he do a great job of that. He put Wayne into a situation where Wayne ain't the most comfortable.
What about you, Randy?
Well, this isn't a specific to 114. This is just this cycle in general. As much as we've all kind of harped on this Madden, I think it's pretty cool that We haven't. Not only have we not had a repeat champion, we've also not even had a repeat appearance. All 4 OMFL bowls. There's 8 new teams, if that makes sense, and I think that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's been every bowl game is represented by a different team on both sides of the division. So yeah, that's been awesome. Yeah, the Butter Rose. Well, I don't know if the Falcons picked or if it just
the Falcons picked. It's on Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta
Didn't know if
skip
it.
him.
Seattle is a skip pick.
That is a very, very good name. Kendrick Meekins for me.
For Meek. That's a perfect pick for Meek.
He definitely favored that guy. He had to have favored that guy.
Had to.
All right, we're gonna see if this works, boys. I don't know if it will. 2 minutes is started for Mr. Lost Sniper. I just don't want to sit here and have to try to talk and pay attention to this and watch a clock. Like that's gonna suck. So we're gonna see if this clock thing works. You got 1.5 minutes, Mr. Lost, and we'll keep this thing moving along. Thank you guys for filling in some of that space. Sean Odom, a wide receiver, goes over to the Patriots. It felt like this draft was filled with wide receivers and cornerbacks who maybe were smart, but not crazy athletic. And we know, especially on All-Pro, athleticism is going to be a big part of being able to build a winning team. So I just don't know where this falls with some of these skill positions in this draft. We'll see what happens next draft. But this one is, if you needed a skill position player, you better go trade for one, because there's really not much in free agency, and there ain't really a whole lot left here in the draft already.
Yeah, that's why I traded my first round pick to Rodgers and the Texans to go get a cornerback. Because there was nothing really outside of Witherspoon that I wanted to go get, and just with the other needs I had, I couldn't. And then going into the draft, I just knew there wouldn't be much talent there, so I threw my 13th pick away and got myself a 3rd round pick and a new corner that could potentially be an import.
Yeah, I think it's especially like when you talk about like wide receivers and cornerbacks. I know the cornerbacks were real slim. I really only had 2 that I thought had a really decent grade on them to draft, like anywhere in the first 3 or 4 rounds. The rest of them, I mean, I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 hidden in there that can actually help compete. But the wide receivers were kind of intriguing for me. Definitely a lot of guys that had some ability, especially with speed and acceleration and change of direction, all those things. But a lot of them were just lacking in like release or catching or route running or. But those are things like I said before, in the OMFL, it's awesome. We have the capability of adding some things to those guys that can help build them along and make them a special player.
Got about 15 seconds, Big Hurt. Guys, I'm going to be really kind the first 3 rounds. After that, there's just no way. Like, I can't sit here and keep time for every pick through 7 rounds. So I get it. It's hard. Trust me, I feel the pressure, but you guys got to get these picks in. 15 seconds, Hurt. I don't even know if he's here. Poor guy's probably still working or trying to rush home. So
he said something about football practice, so.
Yeah, I think he
did. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and skip it. All right. Over to the Jets in Cincyburg. You got a 2-minute clock. It is ticking. You guys are going to have to carry me through this, so I hope you took your aspirin, because your backs are going to hurt when this is over with. I can't do one thing well, much less try to do 5 things at the same time. So you guys are definitely going to have to hold my hand through this one. Way too early predictions. Way too early predictions. But in the draft so far, who do you like about which team and what they picked up and added to their team? I'm just going to take the low-hanging fruit. I love what the Eagles have done. You get the superstar franchise quarterback on your team. I mean, it's sort of hard to pass that up.
We'll see how long that quarterback lasts.
I think what Trey's trying to say is he's put the hit out on Mr. Dixon, so he may not
Because
survive.
Mr. Dixon finds the Commanders week 1.
Bounty Gate. No, I'm just kidding.
They saw
Nah.
like that. That's a bunch of bulls too, because it happened with his team.
Yeah, I started saying it. I was like, I don't think I should say that.
Yeah, I'm way over that. He's your problem now, Mr. Randy. Since you got about a minute to go, actually a little less than that, about 45 seconds, then we're going to be off to Colin. We got the Bears, the Broncos, the Browns, the Bengals. Woof. Try to say that 10 times fast. And then the Ravens to wrap it up. Ravens will be a skip. Denver Broncos, y'all. Surprise team. They sort of put it all together and came out of nowhere. You got 30 seconds, Cincy Bird. What are we expecting from the Denver Broncos?
I talk to him pretty frequently. I always give him crap. I'm like, you should let me have Denver, but he never does. But I watched a lot of his games this year, and I think he just kind of got off his game early in the AFC title game. He beat Denver in the regular season, and then he lost to him in the AFC title game. I'm pretty sure he threw a pick on the first play of the game. And y'all know how that goes. You get in your head early, make a bad play early, and it's just snowballs from there. So I expect him. I talked to him after the game, and he really, really wants to get a bowl. So I think he's going to be motivated to get back there.
Yeah, he was one of the other teams that I was trying on the fly. I was trying to think of, okay, who else made it to the playoffs that, and I was thinking Roger, of course, give him. But yeah, the Denver Broncos, man, Jay Glaze. And we've seen that from him in times past where he just like comes up the last couple of seasons of the cycle and all of a sudden he's like playing super stellar football and he makes a run. And that's kind of been the way, I don't know, last 3 Maddens or maybe even more so. But I definitely think he's helped his cause. And I think, he's just going to continue to build that team. And I just look to see him right in the mix of things this season.
Well, Tyrone Harris, wide receiver, goes over to Denver. We're seeing a spread here, right? We've got some offensive line, we got some defensive line, we got a lot of linebackers, tight ends, some receivers. It's been a bit of a sprinkling here. A little bit of a run early in the draft on safeties. Nothing really on cornerback. Have we even had a cornerback go? Does anybody know if we had a cornerback picked?
We had 2. It was Richards and Cobbs.
That's right, Richards. I remember that now.
I went to the Bears and Cobbs, I think, went to the Packers, maybe?
Got a minute, yeah, Mr. Denver.
I'm trying to look back through the screenshots and see.
Oh boy.
Got 30 seconds, Mr. Denbrew. This is going to suck, y'all, calling this out. Guys, I'm going to give you a 1-minute warning and a 10-second warning. That's really all I can do. This is hard enough to try to keep up, so you got to keep your own time going here. And the Browns barely get their pick in, and we're off to the next one, the Bengals. Little back-to-back buddy picks there. Denbrew with the Browns. Little Koch here with the Bengals. Bengals 4 picks here in the second round. I think he had multiple first-round picks. A team that started a 50-something overall, 300-pound hefty lefty, even though he's a righty quarterback. Built him up to an X factor, which is a bit mind-blowing how you can even begin to do that. The Bengals, do we think that they can bounce back this season?
If he decides to start his quarterback.
No, I think he's all in because he's going back to the Browns next draft or next season. So I think he is all in on this hefty righty guy.
Right here. I think he just took Kevin Spears, quarterback. He was like my number 5 quarterback on the board. You know what? I don't even think, to be honest, I'm not sure if I saw that guy in free agency, the hefty lefty.
Wait, what do you mean?
The Bengals, I'm not sure if he re-signed him or I want to say I thought I seen him in free agency. I was all like, whoa, wasn't it the guy that's
Really?
on the Bengals? Yeah. I could be wrong, but I could have swore when I was looking through the free agency, I was all like, isn't that the guy that the Dunkin' Donuts guy or whatever, And
Oh, that would be surprising. I thought that little Koch was all in on that guy. He's building him up to take with him over to the Cleveland Browns. But I guess you could be right. Little Koch, if you're here, set the record straight. Did he walk to free agency?
Nope,
Who's he playing with?
Dunkin' Donuts is still on the roster.
Oh, okay. What's his name? Is his name Duncan?
Josh.
Is that why we're calling him Duncan?
Josh Duncan.
Josh Duncan. Duncan. I see what y'all did there. I like it. We're over to the Raiders. Raiders, 49ers, Packers, Bucks, Rams, Titans. Titans are going to be a skip. Falcons are a skip. Seahawks are a skip. So far, I think that's all.
Steelers are a skip.
Oh, Steelers are a skip? You know that for sure?
Yep. Yeah, he's posted in the chat.
Just the wrong chat, I
His
guess.
first two. Skip me the rest of the way too. No point now that I drafted my first and second round for the same, on the same position.
Didn't Nipples say he was not going to be here?
I know his second round pick was picked pretty quick. So, no, he took the wide receiver.
I'm so lost. I'm doing so many things. I'm confused. I'm dazed. I need a nap.
I don't care if it takes us 5 minutes. You pause this sucker and you make your pick, man. Ain't no sense.
We're over to the 49ers. All right, call it like you see it, fellas. Did he tank?
Absolutely.
100%.
1,000%.
Yeah, I'm also in the tank mode. I think full tank. He had a built-in excuse called a baby. And he does. He's got some real life things that happen. His wife travels for work, and so he has not trying to put his business out there, so maybe I should shut up. But ultimately, there was like a real excuse. But I got to be honest. That guy could have played with his big toes and should have won some of the games that he lost. It was like, and he did this thing where he like kept it just close enough to make it look like he wasn't tanking, and he kind of could build in an excuse. And it's like, nay, homie, nay. I see what you're doing. I see right through it.
I think he's listened to all the noise because we've been talking about that for a while, and I think he's stacked up on draft picks and he's got a good roster. I think he's gonna go all in this season and try to get him a bowl and shut up some of the noise. Not that would shut anybody up because it still wouldn't take away from the fact that he most likely tanked, but I think that would kind of, in his mind, justify it. But
got under a minute, Mr. Priest.
Better have like 15 picks because he ain't got much cap space, or he's got like tons of holes on his offensive line and other places. So
yeah, I was surprised when he paid Frank Ragnow because I thought go and fill out the rest of the team, but he paid Frank, and that took a large portion of cap space.
Up next is Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Mr. Kevin, a guy that built up Drake May as a superstar X Factor, high like 99 overall guy, goes and gets Olave, and then goes out first pick here in drafts a brand new quarterback. You got 5 seconds, Priest. God, I hate skipping people when I know that they're around and Priest has been in chat, but you're over, Priest. You're overtime. 3, 2, 1.
baked.
Priest is the last guy talking in chat.
Okay.
I'm being more than
baked.
Nice. You're like 2.5 minutes over. Priest, why are you not making a pick? Okay. I don't know what else to do. I did my best there to give him more than enough time. Watch, he's going to type in chat. Sorry, y'all. I was flipping burgers or something. Anyway, the point I was trying to make about Mr. Kevin was, what do we expect from this team? That was a shocking pick to go quarterback when I asked him about it because he played PUBG that night. his response was, well, it wasn't working with Drake May. I was like, well, okay, stop throwing interceptions. But what do we expect from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I thought he was going to have a good season this season 114 because I know he does better on All Pro. I picked him to win the division in my playoff madness thing. So I still believe in Kevin. And I think I played him last season and he gave me a hard time. So I think he still got that old Kevin. So I think he kind of might bring it out this season.
I still believe in Kevin. I believe in you.
Kev's one of those players that can be on a down year, but flip it into a positive year within seconds of just drafting.
I was going to say it too. Kevin's like one of those guys that I will raise my hand. I'm looking in the camera. I'm pointing myself out to that sometimes when you get a quarterback and it just don't work, it's like some mental thing that just will screw you up like so bad. But that said, I do think he's gonna turn it around, but he's just gonna have to get out of his own head and like Nate said, you gotta stop trying to force the ball over those same, because a lot of those same routes that worked last Madden, they don't work that well this Madden. So you got do something else, change up your game plan, playbook a little bit, something. But he's capable. We've all seen Kevin do it time and time again, so he's capable of turning this thing around.
I'm trying to quickly make my pick, fellas. Y'all keep talking.
I was going to say that Kev, since we're just talking about Kev, he just posted the tight end that he just took, Mark Peak. And he's at his peak performance, and he is a hidden dev. 87, I was going to say 97 speed. I was like, oh gosh. 87 speed, 86 acceleration, 88 agility. Those are pretty good ratings for a tight end.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I was hoping he fell to me, but there you go. 7 picks beforehand.
Yeah, it's I actually had 5 tight ends that I thought were capable of being game changers in this draft. But I think all of them are gone except for one on my list. So it's been one of those positions that has been kind of highly sought after, I think, for as the early first 3 rounds.
Yeah. Be interesting to see the guys that aren't able to draft, how their players are going to fit their.
Yeah, that is true.
Obviously, Titans are not around, so getting a left end could be very interesting.
Ooh, quarterback.
Luke McClendon.
Yeah, I panicked. The player I wanted was not there. Oh my God! I just skipped Nipples. I don't know why in my head it says.
You're good.
Is he not here? Oh no! Sorry, Nipples, if I screwed it up. I don't know why in my head Nipples is never here, and it was like he's a skip, and I just did it without thinking. Oh gosh, I need a nap.
Thanks.
Oh, Ravens
Yeah,
and
Bill
Jets
just
can be
posted in
skipped.
the chat that Ravens
Thank you,
and
Bill.
Jets can be skipped.
Saved by the bill. Saved by the bill.
Saved by the guys who can't post in the right chat. Yeah, I openly, and I don't have picks for a while, so I needed a big defensive tackle. I like the guy that I have, but he's not a real playmaker, and I was hoping I could find one. And it feels like all the good defensive tackles were gone. The guys that were in there were all rated, undraftable. And I was looking at a defensive lineman, but he was rated 3rd, 4th round, and this felt like a stretch here in the 3rd round. and he wasn't really going to fit what I was looking for. And then I seen a quarterback, and I sort of had hoped a quarterback would fall to me late in the draft because I don't have any backups. I wasn't going to pay, what's his name in real life? Whatever his name is in real life that plays with the Saints. I wasn't paying him to be my backup, so I wanted to draft one. This guy's got some speed, nice arm, 90 throwing power. He's sort of like a Timu version of the guy that Mr. Maniac got, but he's at least a guy I can try to build on. So we'll see.
Maniac got a quarterback?
Here, and he got skipped.
Say that again.
Nice Songer said he got skipped, and he's here. The Jaguars at 73.
Nice hunger. It picked for you, brother. Were you logged in? If you weren't logged in, it will sometimes pick for you. I didn't skip. I didn't do anything. It just automatically did it. So something on your end, Nice Hunger, is... Where did he say this at? Because the chats are dead.
In the YouTube.
Please send me a DM.
He said in the YouTube chat as well.
I don't know why I'm not seeing in the YouTube chats. Oh, because they disconnected. That's awesome. Well, let's do this.
I bet the timer ran out, though. I bet the timer ran out because it's 1:30 now in these rounds. So
that's exactly what it was, I bet. These are 1.5 rounds. I'm going to have to start changing the clock. All right. Well, you guys are going to have to wake up. I don't know why the chats have messed up. So you guys will have to help me read the chats too. I guess you're helping me do all kinds of stuff here.
He's getting technical difficulties, so we come in to both run the show and help him understand what the heck is going on.
All of the shows, all of the things. All right, so we got Titans, Seahawks, Falcons, Steelers, Ravens, Jets, Packers. We're skipping all of them. That's going to help pick things up. We got the Kansas City Chiefs up here again. Kansas City showed some flashes. Again, I want to say this again to be very clear, since I can't see the chat. I don't know why I did that, but we are now on 1.5 clocks. So you don't have 2 minutes. It's automatically going to get itself going, even though I have it paused. It's going to automatically do its thing. So do your best to get this picked in. It shouldn't have skipped you, though. Nice Hunger. I don't know why I did. I didn't clearly skip you. Sometimes, if you're set on away, it'll skip you. So go make sure you're not set on away in the franchise. Jags are done for the night, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Chargers are done for the night. Thank you guys for posting in the chat. Back to Chiefs here. Back-to-back picks here. Waller, wide receiver. He's got another pick here. Then over to Dallas, who I think is also not here. I'm not fully sure about that. Maybe he is.
See, so the Chiefs picked Dorian, the wide receiver, I think in the first round. He was like my number 3 wide receiver on my board. Waller was actually like number 8 or 9. Cunningham was like right before him. So we've actually kind of seen a little bit of a run on wide receivers, especially like the last 2 rounds. Seem like guys are taking the flyers on what they feel like is going to be something to help them, or speed wise or catching or something.
What do you expect from the Chiefs this year, fellas? This is a team that showed some definite flashes last year, but just didn't put it quite all together. He goes out and gets a bunch of picks here. I want to say he traded away his running back to grab some picks. I forgot exactly who he sent him to. But
one of these picks was actually mine because I traded him a second and a third for his young left tackle last season. And so my second that I got this year was from the Colts. But yeah, so he's got two of my picks in these last 2 rounds along with his. So he did a good job securing some draft capital.
You got 30 seconds. Dwayne, I don't even know if you're here. It is the wife's birthday, so hopefully you are enjoying the birthday party. I am not sure that you're here, but I'm also not told that you're not here, so I don't know what you are.
Mr. Shocks, he still has Rooster Winners, which is his number one back, the
that guy's
99 overall one. But he traded away Pacheco to Bill and the Giants because Bill let Jacobs go. I think Bill has another young guy, but so that's kind of another thing that helped him stock up on these picks. But I think he'll have a good year. He definitely likes to run the ball, plays good defense. I think I talked to him a lot. I think he's kind of one that gets in his own head a little bit. So I'm excited to see what he does, and I hope he can make a run because he's one of the better guys here, like better people here.
In the franchise, it's showing Dwayne is not online, but it is also showing that Nipples is online. It's online, so I don't know if that means anything or not, but it shows Dwayne away. So
I don't know why, Little Koch, but all of the chats went away. So I didn't see any of your messages. I didn't see any of these. I've got it now to where I can see the messages, and my computer's like, I don't like this. Can you please stop doing this to me? So we're going to see if we can't fix it. I don't know if we'll be able to fix it. My computer ultimately may not be able to handle what it is I'm trying to do here. Let me know if it starts to get weird on this end. We'll figure it out. All right, we're over to the Falcons, who I think can be skipped. If I remember correctly,
Yep.
you can. You guys might have to help me remember this very lengthy skip list we got. Seahawks are a skip.
Yep.
And I think that is it. We're over to the Lost Sniper and the Patriots, then over to Big Herd and the Vikings. Cincyberg, which will be a skip. 49ers and D-Money. Yeah, this isn't going to work, so we're going to come up with a different plan. And here is what that different plan is going to be. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move this over here.
this is something else.
This has been quite the night, y'all. You know, this has been quite the night. This happens,
If
you
it
know?
will help, like have like Trey like help you remember with who needs to be skipped, and then I can have my Discord open for DMs. If anybody's having any problems, they can DM me like right away. Then I can tell you. Because it's I can only imagine having all that over there trying to track that, and then you're also moving the draft along. It's just like insane.
Oh, I got kicked out the server.
All right, guys in the chat, I can now see you again. Let me know if the stream is still glitchy or skippy. I tried to shut some things back down. I was trying to do 5 screens, and my computer went, I don't like that. And I was like, I understand. I won't do that anymore then.
I think the solution is to just trade all your picks away like I did, and then you won't have any problems.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea, you know? The problem is you have to have picks worth being traded for. So I don't know that I have any of that. So we got the Jets we're going to skip next. And then we're over to the 49ers, Colin and the Bears, Jay Glaze and the Broncos, Dimpru and the Browns. And then over to Birdman, who is a skip. He says, I don't need those picks. Or is Birdman a skip? Am I wrong about that? No, Birdman's not a skip.
No.
I don't know who I'm confusing him with. Maybe I'm confusing him with Priest, who picked. I should skip him anyway because he won the OMFL Bowl.
Skip him. So
Kevin says it's still skipping people.
Voice chat.
Kev says it's still skipping people. I don't even know what to say anymore, y'all. You got 30 seconds, I think. No skip me. So no comma skip me. Or no skip me, like, no, don't skip me. Like, I don't know what that means. You're a teacher. You work at a school. Give me some punctuation. The stream is still skipping. That's awesome. That's freaking great. This night's just getting better, y'all. Just getting better. All right, I'm gonna close this. I don't know that that's gonna help. Don't skip me. Yeah, see, Bird, that's better English. What if I came over here? Would that reset things? What if I did this?
Lord help us if this thing actually glitches out and it advances all the way to the end.
That'd be
Right.
amazing. Bird says PE. I don't deal with grammar. I'm nervous to stop it because my brain tells me that ain't gonna fix it. And I think I screwed it up when I tried to do 5 screens, and my computer was like, don't do that to me, please. Let me try something. I don't know if this is gonna work. We're gonna try something real fast.
We've been doing this one take for a while, but
What if we did that? Oop, that's not what I want. That didn't really solve the problem, did it? I was hoping that would have solved it. There should be no problem. I don't understand why there is a problem. But clearly there is a problem. And they don't like something that's going on here.
The sound sounds good, but the picture is what's jumping.
Yeah. All right. Y'all tell me when to advance and stuff.
I'm pretty sure we've
Big Hurt's been here for like ever. Yeah. All right. Sorry, Big Hurt, if you're
we've been
even
on
here.
here for a minute.
We're gonna skip the Jets.
This is skippable.
Oh my gosh. All right, back over to the 49ers. All right, let me try something. See if I can figure out what's causing this thing not to be very happy right now. I knew better than trying to do something I shouldn't have been.
I will say, just looking at the Patriots draft, I think he's having a pretty good draft. He posted something in the chat where the last draft pick that he had before Castle was a hidden dev guy and looked like he had pretty good stats. And I kind of had Castle, this right outside linebacker, being somebody that could probably help a defense. So I'm curious to see what this guy. But I think quietly the Patriots are having a pretty solid draft so far. McQueen, 49ers, the D tackle, who all could contribute to his team. I'm like the last minute, like just trying to scramble around and get a list of like, okay, I got, top 30 guys off the board, try to make them all, all seem to fit to my team or whatever, and try to go with it. But
Yeah, D-Money definitely calls the college head coaches and sees if his teammates go to their birthday parties or not. So
The draft day reference. I love it.
I reset the draft, reset the stream. It says, Kev says it looks good now. So y'all let me know because I can't see everything. And all right, I'm going to get back to taking my time here and restarting all this stuff. So we are over to the Chicago Bears. As soon as they pick, I will start the timer again. Then over to the Denver Broncos, Denver and the Browns, Bird and the Carolina Panthers. And then we're going to be off to the 4th round. It really is wrapping up here pretty soon. I mean, we're making some pretty good time, even with all these crazy glitches and hoops that we're having to run through.
yeah,
almost to that 4th round if we're still doing call-ins or whatever we want to call it.
Yes, sir.
Randy, you said a statement a while ago about, and it was a great point by you, of no even return teams into the OMFL Bowl. Why do you think that is? What has been different this cycle that has, as much as we've had some complaints, we still have had some really good parity?
Well, I think it's just that. I think that's kind of what I was saying is that, yeah, it's been complaint heavy for sure, but I think a lot of it jumps down to we've played on a lot of different settings, and also there's been a lot of updates, and I think things play different for other people, and like you see, guys are plugged in and not plugged in. But I think what it also speaks to is we have the top dogs here, the guys you think of, but there's a lot of guys that are just barely underneath them that are really capable and hungry, and I think that's kind of showed up this cycle.
Colin is saying that is not letting him pick. I told him to close and log back in. We'll see if he wants to. I don't know if he does or doesn't, but it should be a pretty easy fix. If it doesn't let you pick, tell me it's paused. I won't skip. I'll let you close, log back in, giving Colin some time to go ahead and do that. And we'll be off to Jake Glaze, Denbrew, and Birdman. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the game is also played a little differently in different times, which has allowed different sort of play styles and team building to win. There's also a couple of teams that I think have gotten really close to where we could have seen some repeat teams, and it just hasn't been there, such as Dallas, right? He was just right there at the bitter end and just came up a couple of plays short.
I think especially if you compare it to last cycle where D-Money, I think he won 3 bowls. Trey went to 2 bowls. So there was a lot of like the same teams in there pretty frequently. And it's just been so drastically different that it's been pretty refreshing to see like, oh, a lot of people have chances.
That is nice because like there was 4 or 5 Maddens ago. I don't even remember, but it's like when D-Money showed up, there was like 6 OMFL bowl games that season, and I think he like won 5 of them. So that was like one of those times where it's like I ain't got a chance, no matter what I'm doing, there's no chance because
that was a deflating cycle. Like I literally told him I can't invite you back next cycle because like there's no way, like we can't. No one even wants to play anymore. Like you deflated the whole league. It was not a good look. He got 1 minute left, Mr. J. Glaze, a little under a minute.
How Cleveland? That was
a little run on wide receivers here in the second and third quarter, huh?
Yeah.
Are these guys posting any pictures? Are we talking about like 87 speed receivers, or what are we talking about here?
Let's see. I was looking at some of these guys earlier, and then I came back off to help with that Curry, the running back Curry for the Randy. That looks nice too, man. He's not hidden dev. That looks nice.
10 seconds.
Guys haven't as of recent, but I can look at. See, I think Massimo.
All right, I gotta skip you.
The Raheem Mays guy that the Dolphins picked. He's 93 speed hidden dev, but he's only 87 acceleration. Change of direction is 82.
And that's a receiver?
That's a receiver.
Yeah, that 87 acceleration, that's not gonna get the job done. That's gonna be tough.
6'5" on that guy.
6'5" is nice. That's a red zone threat.
Yeah, put him in the slots where you have where you might have like a slot tight end or slot wide receiver, and put him in there for the quick routes.
Over to Big Birdman, and then we're closing out round number 3. Let's get about halfway through round number 4 as we start in that process right now. We'll start taking call-ins. Here's how I'd like for this to work. Join the chat, the voice chat. You can use your phone, your computer, whatever. If you got a landline, I'm pretty sure that'll work too. Be on mute and then send Maniac a message. He will let me know what order that we are in. He'll let me know who to bring in. We'll bring you in. We'll let all 3 of these guys ask you some questions about your offseason and your draft. That is my funnest part about this. That used to be the breakdown of players, but since I don't have all that information now because drafts are done differently, I can't sit here and talk about all these players. So because of that, the interviews have become my favorite part as we start draft round number 4. CJ Jacobs, a center, goes over to Philadelphia. They look to be investing into their offensive line. That guy had A's across the board in pass blocking, run blocking, strength, awareness. That guy seems to be a really good pick here to start out round number 4.
O-line definitely feels to be more important this cycle than it's been in previous cycles. I was talking with Maniac about that the other day, and it just seems like you could kind of get away with low 80s O-linemen now, previously, and now it's like you kind of have to invest in that a lot more than you used to.
Yeah,
I
and you're going in a
absolutely agree.
division that had probably the best pass rushing duo with Parsons and Sam Williams, so helping bolster that offensive line will help keep that rookie quarterback alive.
Good point.
You got the Raiders, the 49ers, and then the Carolina Panthers in the next 3 picks, and then back over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oakland Raiders. I feel like them and the Broncos, not only are they real life good friends, but I feel like they play very, very close to the same. It's like when they put it all together, they feel like a really, really unstoppable force. We haven't seen listen to me, Las Vegas put it together this cycle. I can't even pinpoint why. It feels like it is the offense. It is the quarterback. It is the receivers. It is the offensive line. It is the running backs. It is trying to build some of those playmakers. He'll be in a much, much better position next Madden cycle. But for this one, the last season here for season 115, what are the Raiders going to have to do to be able to compete? You got a minute, D-Money.
I think in that division right now, the recipe is to play clean, mistake-free football because Jay Glaze has a great defense. He uses that corner, and then he's got Pat Surtain on the other side who'll pick you off, and that turns a game quick. And same thing with Loganator. His defense is pretty stout as well. So playing clean football, even if it's low scoring, that's going to give you a better chance than trying to take risks. But I think that division in general is probably one of my favorites just because you never really know who's going to win that division. It's always, I swear it's a new team every season.
That's one of the divisions that I think has the most fluctuation because it literally feels like one Jay next season it's Sharks, next season it's whoever the Chargers is. It's just never a revolving door. The top team in that division.
Definitely agree. So I mean, I think Jay Glaze had a great season, but the way it's gone, we'll see if Shocks or Jay Bulls makes a run.
Starting around fives. I don't know if that's a word. That's not the word I was looking for, but that's the word I said. Starting around 5 through 7, we're going to move to 1-minute rounds. We're going to speed this thing up. This thing has felt like such a disaster. My favorite night has been ruined, but it's okay. I got you guys here, and it's been a lot of fun, so I appreciate y'all making time and battling through. You got 1 minute, Rams, Mr. Crazy B-Man, and I hope Crazy's doing good. It's been a while since I've been able to check in on Crazy, and hope that he is doing well. We're going to add the Panthers to that skip list. He got his 4th round pick in Greg McKinney, and he is happy. Moving over to the Rams, the Titans, who will be a skip, over to Tim and the Lions, Bill and the Giants. Nipples a skip? We haven't even decided that, right? No, Ravens is a skip, and then over back to the Giants again. You got 30 seconds. Crazy.
It looks like all of the NFC South needed some linebackers this offseason.
It's been a defensive heavy draft, this one.
Which is surprising because the number 1 defensive position normally drafted, there really was nobody.
10 seconds.
Yeah, back is usually like the one that just takes over the whole draft. Everybody just focuses on quarterback, and then they'll kind of work their way down through the the linebackers and then the D ends and all that stuff like that will follow. But it seems like it was reverse that. You know, a lot of linebackers, a lot of.
Oh no, Tim! I'm sorry, Tim. It automatically skipped the Titans. I was moving down to Tim. I'm sorry. Sorry, Tim. I skipped Tim, y'all, as you can clearly hear. It
oh boy.
automatically skipped the Titans. It hasn't automatically skipped the Titans at all tonight.
He
I
must
think
have
that's what happened with Nicehunger because it was the Titans that was right before him last time.
Then that's exactly what happened. And I didn't pick up on that's what happened. Ah! Okay, pay more attention. Sorry, fellas. I will pay more attention. I'm doing my best here. Honest mistake. Hopefully, Carlos Underwood is the fastest receiver that you've ever had.
Oh man,
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Tim. Honest mistake, brother.
I bet the Titan somehow put himself on auto.
Yeah, he probably did.
He didn't.
He didn't, so why
Really?
is it skipping him? Anyway, I don't know. I can't. I don't even have the brain capacity to figure this one out. Do we have any interviews starting to rumble in here? I feel like we need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, we got Nicehunger and Priest, but Nicehunger is number one on the.
Let's welcome in the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was waiting to skip this one. Now it ain't skipped, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it and get over. Let's welcome in Mr. Nicehunger, owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nicehunger, welcome into the show, buddy. How you doing tonight?
I'm getting ready to head into work.
Ugh, that's gross, but what a way to start the night hanging out with a little OMFL draft action. Tell me about your offseason, man. What was the plan coming into this offseason? You gave away your favorite team. You're like, I'm too attached. I got to move away. You move over to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and boy, you learn quick. It maybe isn't quite easy to rebuild that team. What was the plan this offseason as you moved into the draft and free agency, re-signs, all those opportunities that you had?
Well, I needed some depth behind the guys that make the money, because there's a couple guys on there that were re-signed previous to me getting the team, and from me that just eating up a lot of money. So I had to get some depth guys, replace retired offensive linemen, and then in the draft I wanted a quarterback. I ended up getting my second quarterback on my list. Maniac stole my number one.
Fellas, what questions you got for our buddy Nicehunger?
You guys go ahead.
I'll go ahead. It's Randy, Mr. Colts. I know your name's Randy too, so respect there. Props to your parents. But now, what's the outlook on your season? What's a successful season for the Jags this year?
The only way I can measure success is if I hit the playoffs this year.
Definitely. What do you think? I remember last season. Sorry, words are hard sometimes. We interviewed you during the draft show, and you thought you'd have a pretty good season, and I think you grew a little bit, but you didn't have quite the season. What do you think is going to have to be the difference this year for you to get where you want to
go? Making better choices with the football. I was looking back at the carousel of quarterbacks I tried, because none of them that I had really fit what I wanted. So I tried a few different quarterbacks, and I think I had like 40 or 45 interceptions between the four or five guys I used. So making better choices. I mean, some of it was really tight coverage and bad reads, and others was you throw the ball and it wants to throw it to Alaska when you're trying to throw it to Texas.
I like it. That's a good point. But yeah, the quarterback's definitely a big one. I'd say the last one before I turn it over to somebody else. So, for you, what are you assuming you want to come back next Madden? What is a position, if you don't have it, you're like, I really want to bring that over to my next team or my next cycle?
Looking at the Jags, they're paying Lawrence way too much, so quarterback's my first and foremost. If I get to the point where I can get another import or two. Might bring a receiver because I'm not sure how Madden's going to do Travis Hunter. And I would love to be able to bring my middle linebacker, Antonio Herrick, or I think that's his name. Who's got some decent speed.
Yeah,
So that way I have somebody in the middle.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I cut you off. That Herrick guy. I remember when you drafted him, you snagged him up before me because I was looking at him. So I definitely know he's a good piece for you. But Trey or Maniac or Nate, you got any questions for our boy?
30 seconds, Raj.
Nope. Hold on. Let me cut.
No, you're good now. I was just giving his 30-second warning.
How's it going? Nice? Yeah. It's your good old friend over here in the Commander, Trey. You went and drafted your quarterback, but you're now having two, essentially, I'm assuming, because the rookie will start, high-paid backup quarterbacks. Do you feel like that affects your chances on this season being a successful one?
It definitely hindered me from being able to re-sign some guys I wanted to re-sign. But the way I don't play the over-the-top football, so having those big speedy guys isn't that big of a need, so I was able to let them go. For me, it's the play action, get your guys in behind them because they come up. And, so the speed guys that I had to let go, I don't think it's going to affect me as much because I don't play that way.
Gotcha.
So having those guys with a lot of money, it hurts, but I think I can compensate.
It's not let me pick, just by the way, Nate. I'm going to restart.
All right, I'll wait. Roger just says his did the exact same thing. So he said he closed. You got to close. You got to shut the game down and then come back in. Just say something and I'll wait, fellas. Sorry about that, Nice Hunger.
Now you're going into the second year with wide receiver Trey Moorhead. Do you look to have him play more of a factor in the offense this cycle now that you kind of have an understanding of how he plays and you have your rookie?
Yeah, I plan on using him a lot more in the way I was using Addison and let Addison kind of go to the slot because he's more shifty. I can use him out of the slot a little more. And so those guys are my top two, and then I also traded to get a big, tall, decently speeded guy from Roger, which hopefully will allow me to get over the top when I need to on some of the play action passes.
And now you're going into your second season also with Sergio Scarborough, but it's also a contract year. Is this a guy that potentially could be looked at as a import, or is it just ride him out the rest of this Madden cycle?
Just going to run his wheels off this Madden cycle and move forward with ET in the next Madden.
All right. And last but not least, give me your surprise players that you should be the biggest for your offense and defense.
I think my new quarterback is going to be a surprise. His accuracy was what drew me to him, and he's got A accuracy for deep and B for both short and medium. So I think he's going to be my biggest surprise on offense. On defense, I think it's going to be, honestly, I think I'm going to have a game wrecker in the middle with the next Lion, Lee McNeil.
Yeah, that brings us to the question: 3-4 or 4-3?
3-4.
Nice.
And leaving a 3-4. Interesting.
Running 30 seconds, Tim.
Run a Lee McNeil at nose tackle. Have the Mason Smith at right end. Then the Hines Allen and Walker rushing off the edge. Can't ask for a better front four than that.
There you go.
Nice Hunger. What's up, man? Sorry, I saw your quarterback.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm really not. But no, it's he looked pretty
Name
good.
of the game.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me so many more times. Most of the time, it's me on the other side of that line saying, "Oh, you stole the guy I wanted." But definitely, you talked about it. Guys already talked about what it would take for you to have a good season. You said making the playoffs. Looking at maybe, and I know there's been other guys that give you a little hard time about it. Are you going to keep Thomas Jr., the wide receiver, this next Madden? Are you going to look to trade him?
Well, I am not going to be trading him at this point.
If you do, you call me first as an LSU fan.
Bringing in this quarterback with a 93 throw power, and grade. I think he had an A grade for play action passing. Having that speedster and Thomas Jr. would over the top play action passes would really help.
Yeah, that's going to be sick. I think with him, and then also with the kid you already just talked about coming from Colorado. I just went blank. Can't think of his name, but
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. Yeah. That's going to be a big 1-2 punch on the offensive side. And if you bring in another guy, well, you're going to have a 3-headed monster there on wide receiver. But, I know we got a couple other guys that's wanting to come in and interview, but I want to ask you one more. What do you think it's going to take for you to actually get to the playoffs? What are you going to have to do? Are you going to have to maybe solidify your run game, get better at passing, or play better defense?
All of the above. I mean, my defense was ranked in the 20s. Scoring defense was in the 29, so it's only 3 off the end of the pack. But balance is the biggest thing for me. Balance, because I would get so pass heavy because I'd fall behind just a little bit. I'd still hit my minimums, but I wouldn't run the ball, so then they could just key in on, hey, he's passing. And I think that messed me up a lot in games early, especially when I was playing the Colts. I'd get passing and then this cornerback. But it's balance and getting pressure on that quarterback. I didn't seem to get a lot from the defense I played. I'm going to go look at another defensive playbook and try to move some things around, doing the same thing with an offensive playbook, see what I can figure out.
I like it.
Nice song. Before we get you out of here, bud, hope you have a good night at work. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us just a little bit. Give me a record prediction. What are we predicting from your Jags here in the last season?
I think 10-7. I get to go back and play the guys that I was playing in the NFC North, and well, I know they're all beatable. Not saying that they're easy to beat, but they're all beatable.
All right.
You heard it here first, so
There's 2 of them in chat. He's calling them out.
He's carrying the Tim mantle.
I made sure Tim could hear that.
They're chomping at the bit. I can already tell you. Like, it's just like they're ready to press a button. Like, mute them on. Tell him what I think. No.
Oh no, they're always good games with those guys. When I was playing with the Vikings, those were knockout, drag-out games, and they were close games, and they, it was a good rivalry games. I enjoyed playing them, and they beat me, and I beat them. Hey, I know they're beatable.
Well, nice, Unger. We're pulling for you, buddy. I always appreciate you making time to come be on the draft show. Let's see those Jaguars win. And once again, just to remind you, if you trade these stupid LSU players, you call me first, not freaking Fleury and them Falcons, okay?
All right.
There you have it, Mr. Nicesonger of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have a feeling that was one of those under-the-table deals of like, hey, I'll give you the Jaguars, but you first, you got to give me back Thomas. So we'll see exactly how that goes for him next Madden. I'm just going to have to start vetoing these trades. We got Mr. Denbrew in the Cleveland Browns. We're going to skip Bird and the Panthers. Probably going to skip Dwayne and the Cowboys because I think he is enjoying his wife's birthday, and I think we got our next guest in here, right?
Yeah, we got Priest and Tim is in the hole.
Mr. Priest, Tim in the hole, right where he belongs and wants to be. Mr. Priest, welcome to the OMFL Draft Show. How you doing tonight, bud?
Yeah, I'm all right, Nate. I'm all right.
Now that's not the normal Priest energy that we're used to. So we'll see if it picks up here a little bit. Priest, you had a very clear directive last offseason. You went all in on the veterans, the X Factor players. Let me go get guys that I can trade my draft picks for. That sort of showed itself hit and miss last season. You had some moments where it looked really good for you, but then you had some moments where it didn't look good for you. How did that shift as you moved into this past offseason?
The only real issue I had is like I got a beast of a team. The injury bug the last 3 seasons really crushed me. Like I've had 5 to 7 guys out, so you got to really have depth. I know I'm not the only one that had the injury bug, so I think a lot of people had it last season. So you just got to make sure your backups are half decent, or you're screwed.
Randy, what you got for a buddy Priest?
Kind of piggybacking off what you said a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think it was last season. It might have been the season before, but there was one season you started off like 6-0, 7-0 or something, and then it just like
Yeah,
all
and
of a
then
sudden just like flipped on its head.
a thing came in, and then it changes everything. Happens all
What was
the time.
that?
You get new downloads, and it switches the game, and it just messes you up.
So what do you think can get you back to that Priest that started off ready to set the world on fire?
You got to win the close games. If you go look at all this cycle, I'm only losing by 3 to 6 points. You got to win the close games, or you're never going to make it. And I'm unfortunately lose the close games.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear you for sure. What's going to be that thing that wins you them close games?
My defense, if they can all stay healthy.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I brought Bosa over, moved him beside Clark. So I got Gary Van Ness, Bosa, and Clark front 4. Colson, Peterson, Greenlaw, Walker as my backers. So my front 7's pretty deadly.
Yeah, keep them healthy. You got a great chance.
Yeah,
Trey or Maniac, you got some?
keep them healthy. That's the question mark.
It's bit all of us at one point, unfortunately.
Oh, I know. I get it. It's Madden.
Maniac, Trey, you got some?
Yeah, I'll go. Hey Priest, I know you're
buddy.
Your buddy that was the Vikings, nice song stuff. He's talking about having to play you guys this season, being over the Jags. And you guys are pretty familiar and stuff, and and he spoke pretty highly about you guys. What's your take on Nicesonger? Being that he is a Vikings fan and he was over there in the north with you guys. So just talk a little bit about Nicesonger.
Oh, he's a battle. Always had good games. I will say I came up on the winning part most of them, but he could show up and beat you any day. It was I liked him in the NFC North, and now I got to deal with Big Hurt, which is even worse. So he's got my number, that guy.
Big Hurt has a lot of guys' numbers. It seems like. But what is the biggest off-season addition that you made to your team? I know I was kind of doing multiple things over here on my side, but I don't know if Randy asked you this or not. But the biggest addition in the off-season that you think is just going to make the X factor difference for your team?
Probably a couple. I know he's old, but like it's Bosa. Come on, like if he stays healthy, he's going to do some damage. But I drafted a tight end to back up Musgrave, but this guy's a hidden dev, 6'6", 90 speed. Like his stats are really good, so he might bump Musgrave. And it's our last season, so why not play the rookie?
Nice. Yeah, I think I seen it was what was it, Barnes or Baines or something?
Yeah, it was Barnes. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was kind of on my radar too. There's been a lot of good players in here and stuff. So, well
I looked at all the tight ends. There was 3 top 5s, and I know the top 5 thing's broken, but when I scouted them, they told me top 5, top 5, top 5, which I thought was crazy when they're ready to go 5th round, 6th round.
Yeah, I actually think they were pretty highly rated. So I'm interested to see how those guys play out. You know, we saw the
Winter was good when who got Winter, but he was on. I wanted him, but he was gone.
yeah. I know the Patriots. You know, they drafted a tight end last season, and he paid dividends for them. You know, so looking forward to seeing what those guys do for you this season as well. So I will say good luck, and I'll pass it on to Trey. I know you guys know each other pretty well, so.
I'm getting in here before Trey. Just be honest. Do you miss him, Priest?
Trey?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he makes me better. Like I beat him a couple times in the NBC, but like he usually has my number. But when I beat him, it's nice.
How's it going, Priest?
How's it going, buddy?
You're in a division that's had a very interesting three-way situation going towards the end of the season. Do you feel like you can find what it is that's gonna put you into that race and make it a?
I'm getting 11 fucking wins this season for once.
Why did that crack me up? I don't know. Just his nasty, sad mouth. Watch your mouth. It's a family program.
My bad, man.
No, I'm picking.
My fault.
Obviously, you know Matthew Sturck was a big portion of your. Do you feel like you've found some complementary pieces for him?
Yeah, I picked up McCaffrey in the offseason too. I know he's old, but he's still got some legs for goal line runs. Yeah, he's still got lots left in the tank, that boy.
Your offensive line seems to be a tad bit weak going into the regular season. Do you feel like you'll find?
It's been weak all cycle.
do you plan to make some moves in the regular season?
No, I'm going with the same guys. They're like second, third year guys now. They're almost over 80.
All right.
Some of them anyway.
And last but not least, how does it feel to be the worst team in the NFC North again?
Ooh.
Oh, you know.
Ouch.
It sucks because it's ahead of me.
That's all I got for you.
No worries.
Priest, give me a you I think you cursed it at us. I'm trying to make my pick here, but what do you think realistically? Do you think you're going to be a 11-win team? Is this going to be your division this year?
No, I'm just blowing that out. If you look at it, I've been 8-9, 9-8, 8-9, 9-8, so I'm probably 9-8 again.
Well, buddy, I'm pulling for you. I think you're everybody's just one of their favorite humans here in this league. So I appreciate you making time and coming to be with us here tonight. And yeah, pulling for your team, man. Let's go do something cool.
I have a question for Nate first.
I'm listening.
What's the Saints finishing this season?
Real life Saints or these OMFL Saints?
No, OMFL.
Yeah, they're going to be terrible once again. That's just the way it goes when it comes to me. I don't know. We'll push for, 9-10 wins. I think it always comes down to the offensive line. I did not invest more into the offensive line because I've invested as heavy as I can, and I'm looking forward to next cycle when I don't have to rebuild the offensive line, the defensive line, the linebackers, the DBs, the quarterbacks. I don't have to rebuild every position on the team like I did this Madden. So we'll see. I'm pushing for 10 wins, but it's all going to come down to the offensive line and the defensive line play.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
Priest, you're the best, buddy. I appreciate you, bud. There
Ciao.
you have it. Mr. Priest of the Green Bay Packers. Always a character. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but it did. And I just was not expecting that. The skip list is starting to grow astronomically large, but that just means we're going to be hitting the go-go gadget boots. We're over to the Washington Commanders, the Buffalo Bills. Then we're going to skip the Chargers and then over to the Chiefs. So a couple of the guys here on the show are going to be making their picks. I went ahead and made a really bad pick and ended up reaching for a position that I probably shouldn't have, but such is life. That happens sometimes. Yeah, this has been fun, man. Priest laying it down. He says, this is what I'm doing. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what I'm doing. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. No, just kidding. That's not what I'm doing. We'll see. We got the Lions going to be up next for our next interview. So while Mr. Trey is making his pick and then Mr. Maniac after that, let's welcome in Mr. Tim of the Detroit Lions. Tim, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me on the
Now
show.
there is the energy that I'm expecting from the NFC North. I always get it wrong. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
I'm too old to try to
The
remember
old
those.
Norris division, the old black and blue.
Is it
The
Central?
monsters of the Midwest.
What is it?
It's
the
North.
It's the North.
the
Okay.
North,
It used to
but
be the Central.
the Norris. That sounds always great.
Yeah, I don't know. When you mess, it's one of those things that when you mess them up once, that's it from then on out. It's always going to be messed up for me. Tim, you had a great season, man. You picked up some really big wins this past season. It looks like you had some tough games right there at the end of the season. What was the mindset coming into the offseason, both draft and free agency and re-signs?
Well, it's be under the cap. It's making tough decisions, letting people go like Ali McNeil and Malcolm Rodriguez. Both of them were key parts of my defense, but expendable, and I had to let them go. So making the tough choices, keeping the nucleus together. Second free agency in a row, off-season free agency, where I didn't have a dime to spend. So, but sometimes those are the choices you have to make.
Randy, what you got for our buddy, Mr. Tim of the Lions?
What's up, man? It's been a pleasure to see the NFC North unfold the way it has the last couple seasons with you guys just, having three ways. Everybody likes those.
Pause.
But,
Pause. Excuse me. Pause.
It's a family show.
hey, I mean, I'm just messing. But what's gonna I'm trying to. Okay, I've already dug a hole here. How are you going to come out? How are you going to come out on top?
No, don't do that, Tim. Not on top. Not on top of the pile.
What's the difference, right, between first and third? It's razor thin. It really is. All of the games between Colin and Big Hurt and myself have gone down to the wire. There's nobody's blowing anybody out.
Okay,
Priest even got.
Y'all need to clean up the language here. This is a family show tonight, y'all.
Priest even got me late last season. That loss cost me big time. So there's no gimmies. You have to bring it, and you have to be the last one standing at the end.
This whole interview this went totally downhill for me personally. I just want to go ahead and put that one out there.
I started talking, and then it just kind of went downhill with my words. And I was like, I dug a hole here. But
that's what makes these fun.
This whole draft has been downhill from the glitch to this little, I can't pick anybody right there. It's locking me out thing. Log back in, log back out. This whole thing is downhill. EA better do better.
Yeah. Well, while Mr. Randy's making his pick, let's go ahead and come over to Mr. Maniac. Maniac, what you got for our buddy Timothy?
Tim, we've got, we've had the Packers in here, Priest, and I know you know him real well. And then Nysonger, he's your buddy and works at the same place you do. He's a Vikings fan, and he's talking about he's having to play the North this season, being over the Jags. So. He always talks very highly about you guys and stuff. But what are you looking at the matchup that you're going to have against your old nemesis this season?
It's a family show, right?
Not anymore. The family show stuff went out the window about 20 minutes ago.
Okay. He ran from the Vikings. He ran from playing me, from playing Colin, from playing Priest. He ran as clear as day from the up north to the down south. So he ran. So it'll be interesting when I come to his house and lay the beat down on him.
Yeah, there is no lost love. I knew when he started talking, like I saw, like I know Tim. I've talked to Tim, and I know how he proclaims those lions, and so he's chomping at the bit to see something there. But it's always fun watching you guys in the north. I know you guys. There has been some moments in past Maddens. I will have to give y'all props. Y'all have done a lot better competing and being a competitive division over there. You actually have somebody from that division that's a bowl winner, and that's not named Trey, and so
Yeah.
but you guys have really competed really good over there and stuff. So
And the under I should say underappreciated part of it. It makes all of us better. Colin in the division winning a title, I'm sure has motivated Big Hurt to be better. And I'm motivated to be better with these two people and that are just rocking it out in this. I got to pick. Cool.
Over to you, Mr. Tim. Yeah, I
rounding out.
didn't want to interrupt your thought, but while Mr. Tim is making his pick, Trey, we're going to come over to
Don't
you
skip
and
me,
let you.
Nate.
No, I'm not skipping you. I'm waiting. You got time here. Mr. Trey is going to get to pick the brain of his old team, now being GM by Tim. And I try to give Tim a lot of credit here.
It
I
locked
feel
me
like,
out again.
well, you know what to do. You know what to do, Tim. You know what to do. Just back it on out.
I know.
You got to pull out of that pile. If you're going to be on top, you got to pull out of that pile. I give Tim all the credit that he has done a spectacular job of taking over a multi-time champion team, a team that was just about every position was, going to the Pro Bowl. I just thought he done an outstanding job, and kudos to him. All right, we're coming back to you, Maniac and Tim. Go ahead and finish that thought.
I like the player drafted.
what do you look like?
CB Amir Robertson, just from Michigan State, yes. And 93 speed, 91 acceleration. He's a little bit raw. He's an F on man coverage, so that's. But
You got time to build him up.
a little bit. I need bodies on my team. That's what I need.
Bodies. How do you feel about your free agency coming into this new season? I know I think you're having a pretty decent draft from what I've saw. So I mean, like, who did you pick up that is going to help the Lions get to the promised land this next season?
Well, going the old NBA way, where you draft a player and then on draft day you trade him to another team. Thank you, D. Wayne, for drafting my linebacker, and then I drafted his offensive line, and we're going to switch right there in the trade. But that was a key position I needed, and I needed a defensive tackle big time because this draft sucks for defensive tackles. I'm over here trying to find hidden gems in the pile, and I think I found one in the second round.
There ain't many, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was looking too, and I was like, man, this pile here that's in this draft class, and there's not much there. So
I found a right end that weighs 317 pounds. So I think that meets the weight requirements for a defensive tackle.
It does. I did the same thing. There was not enough good defensive tackles. I grabbed a fat defensive end and going to move him over.
Nice. Well, good luck, man. And I know Trey, co-Lion owners that's been here, was going to want to talk to you about the Lions, but good luck on the season. And again, I think you've had a good draft and a good off season. So good luck to you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that brings me up. Howdy, Mr. Tim.
Hello.
Now, as you stated, free agency wasn't really currently sitting with the negative, I think, 1.4. Should adjust once the rookie reserve cap space comes out. Do you feel like you were able to make any moves, pick up some extra bodies to fill out the team that currently lacks some depth?
I got some players I can cut money from here, cut money there. Some veterans that are not starters, backups that I'm hoping some of these rookies I pick up are elevated to at least a backup role.
And one position that looks like to be a key factor is the wide receiver position. Obviously, you drafted a couple bodies, I think I saw. But you felt the wrath of the wide receiver position lacking when St. Brown was down. Do you feel like with the guys that you've drafted, you won't have that much of a deficit as you did going in last season?
Well, let's back it up a little bit, though. St. Brown got injured and Gibbs at the same time. And I believe I went undefeated during that 5-6 weeks straight stretch. So, yeah, there's some depth on the team that of course, I have to piece together the wide receiver group, but beyond St. Brown and JMO. But there's a will, there's a way.
For sure. Obviously, you mentioned
one receiver I liked a lot last year was Hazelwood, and Hazelwood I found in the practice squad for, I think, the Browns or something like that. I don't know, but you'd be surprised what players are out there. You just have to know what to look for.
Gotcha. Obviously, you mentioned going. You're going to have to face them this season. Do you feel like you have the know of their weakness, or do you feel like their style might just be a counter to you?
Who, the Bears and the Vikings?
Well, Ali McNeil going to the Jaguars and Malcolm Rodriguez coming to the Commanders. Do you feel like their styles of how they play, do you feel like it'll help you play against the Jaguars and the Commanders, or do you feel like it might be a detriment to you?
Over to you, Trey.
Well, Rodriguez was not a starting linebacker, so I used him in moments where I needed to elevate him to be a starter role, but he was not a key focal point of my defense. McNeil sucks a little bit, but I did draft James Bailey, and I have brought him up, so he is going to take over. And if I don't like what I have in the defensive tackle room, I'm considering going 3-4 this year with all the good linebackers I have.
Very nice. And obviously, a position of need definitely on the defensive side looks to be corner. Did you address that in the draft here?
With the last guy I just picked in the round, that was one position. The DBs were it was a weird draft because there's not a lot of defense tackles, and there's only a few good CBs out there that were highly coveted. So you can only handle what you can handle. And some of these positions you're just going to piece together.
Gotcha. Well, I look forward to our matchup later in the season, and best of luck to you in the NFC North.
And for the record, this is the final season for linebacker Bruce Ross and defensive back Deontay Scott. So thank you for drafting them to the Detroit Lions, and hopefully they get the gold jacket on their way out.
I hope so too.
Tim, before you get out of here, give me a record prediction, and maybe even, I got a follow-up question after that. What's your record prediction for the Lions?
I don't know. The 1 year I went 10-7, I tied for the division. Last year I proved and went 11-6 and missed the playoffs. So I don't know if I want to give a record prediction on this one here. You never know what you're going to get. I could go 12-6 whatever and still miss the playoffs for some crazy way. So I just hope that I'm in the playoff party this year. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think you will be. Give me your prediction of how many times you'll be turned into FPR court. I got him on that one. Tim, thank you for joining us tonight, buddy. It has been a ton of fun. I love doing these. I love your energy. I love Tim's corner. What is it? What is the Tim's what is it again?
Tim's take. Tim's take. When the mic is working, when the mic is working, it's a great show.
The double T's. I enjoyed Tim's take. I appreciate you. I didn't enjoy it when I thought you were doing Tim's take live in the middle of whipping my butt this season, but I made the mistake, not you, and I apologize for that. Thank you for joining us tonight.
All right.
Wishing you luck, my brother, and we'll see what your Lions can do here in this next season.
Let's go. Let's finish strong.
I got one thing on your show. You need to rename it TT.
TT?
Listen,
Okay, later.
Poor Tim's over here. I got so many teams to skip here. I'm all confused. Poor Tim's being involved in threesomes, and he's coming out on top, and he's finishing on the top, and doing all kinds of stuff over here. So wishing Tim nothing but the best. If you want to call in, I think we are out of call-ins. There is room for you to call in, so come and join us. We'd love to have you. All you got to do is join the chat, be muted, let Mr. Maniac know that you are here. And we're coming to the end of round number 6, and it's still early. It's not midnight. I'm used to it being midnight by the time these things end.
Yeah, we actually have enough time to do our training at the end and, not be rushing at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going to start doing some interviewing of each of you, and you also can jump in there with me. I'm assuming that Mr. Big Hurt is not here, so I have not heard from him, seen him in chat, or any of that. So we're just going to go ahead and get this thing over to Tim and his Lions and let him do his thing. Mr. Randy, let's start with you, buddy. A great season, I think, bounce back for you this past season. Also a season where I think you learned a lot about your team and sort of how to win this Madden cycle, even though it's been some things that have had to adjust. What was the mindset as you moved into the offseason, re-signs, free agency, and wrapping up the draft here?
Well, for me, this season 114 was a step down. The season 113, I went to the AFC title game, lost to Nips. I followed it up with a decent year. I made the playoffs, but I didn't feel as comfortable. For me, like, I got to go to a passing academy. I can throw the ball fine, but I just my big thing is when there's pressure, I don't step up, I step back, and I've been trying to work on that. So the key for me is getting out of my own head. I say this every time I'm on some type of interview, but kind of like what I was talking about earlier with Jake Lays in that AFC title game he was in, he threw a pick on the first play of the game, and like. Yep. For some guys, that's no biggie, brush it off your shoulder. But for me, it's the end of the world. And I'm working on that. So I got the team. I think I have the skill set, but I have to get the mentals there.
Guys, what you got for Randy?
Go ahead, Trey.
Ooh, Mr. Randy. How's it going, good sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing.
I don't know why that made me laugh. It's like we've been together for 4 hours. He's just like introducing him to the show.
Hey, we don't talk about this. Obviously, you have 3 very talented wide receivers with Troy Franklin, Colin Fredrickson, and Devin McCulley. Mm-hmm. With abilities turning back on, do you feel like Franklin and Devin will provide an interesting factor for your offense?
Yeah, so McCullough, he's going into his 3rd year. He was a rookie the year that that dude from the Ravens, Copeland, was a rookie, and like he would have probably won Rookie of the Year 9 seasons out of 10. But Copeland just happened to got like force fed the ball, and so I love that guy. He's most likely gonna be my import. So I think that'll help a little bit. He still did have a good season last year, but he missed, I think, 4 or 5 games or something. So it kind of diminished his overall outlook. But in terms of that receiving group as a whole, I just think for me, having Jonathan Taylor back there and then 4 guys if you count Kincaid, you don't have enough quality defensive backs to cover everybody. So if I'm not playing like an absolute buffoon out there, I'm going to have somebody open. So that's kind of my mindset.
Your offensive line,
that's the problem.
It's a little bit on the scarce side. You have Colton Miller, who you went out and signed. Other than that, no other projected starting offensive lineman is above a 7. Do you feel like that could hinder your passing?
I mean, it's hindered my game every season. I never go out and draft offensive line because I'm boneheaded, but I put offers in free agency for 2 other linemen, and nobody wants to play for Indianapolis. Apparently they don't like that. They don't want to be in Indiana. So there were some other guys that I put offers in for that would have probably helped me a little bit that I didn't win, but I'm thankful for Colton Miller. So I think the key for that is just knowing how to adjust your protection. You really like with my offensive line, like you'll never see me keep my running back on a route. They're almost always, if I'm passing, I have to keep him in the block just because my line stinks. So making quick decisions and running the ball kind of helps mitigate that.
You have two very talented strong safeties in Javon Holland, go Canada, and Julian Blackman. Do you intend to use maybe one sub linebacker role, or do you all want to just be sitting on the bench in case of an injury?
So I'll use Julian Blackman as my sub linebacker because I got Winfield at the free safety and Holland at strong safety. So he'll be Blackman will be my second sub linebacker, like the backup sub linebacker. But I still do bring Blackman in a good amount in certain packages. I like to use big nickel a lot, and that has all three of them out there.
And by some hook or crook, you managed to have a running back play fullback. Whoever allowed that to be swapped, I have no idea. But do you intend to use A.J. Dillon in a running capacity, or is he just there to be a big body of block?
So I saw him in free agency, and I was like, he's a fullback. So I was like, I got to sign this guy. So I did. So, yeah, I do plan to use him, kind of pull out the triple option a little bit, definitely in the short yardage, pull him out, whether it's tight formation and I sub him as a running back, or I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. I've never done that, or fullback dive type stuff. But he definitely brings an element that I didn't have before.
You're not allowed to do what was the question real quick?
So I signed AJ Dillon. He's a fullback. Can I sub it as a running back?
Yes.
Or
you just can't go the other way.
Okay.
But yes.
You've got a very strong defense, well built across the board. Do you feel like that defense is able to bail you out of games? The offense is.
Thing about this cycle that's so bizarre to me. So if you would have, like last cycle, I mean, I've always had a good offense, but my defense has been kind of what's won me games. And like this cycle, I have had no defense. It doesn't matter how good my team is, and I don't really know why. It's my user is the one that bails me out. Mm-hmm. So it's like I give up all the yards in the world, and then if I get the turnovers because I don't get sacks, and I have good guys on the D line. They just don't get pressure. So theoretically, yeah, you would think, but I don't really know what's going on with them. I'm trying so hard to get them to perform.
All right, well, that's all I got for you, my man. And good luck with your season.
Maniac, what you got for our guy, Randy?
Randy, I know you and I have made some trades with each other, and not only in this Madden, but we've been trade partners a few times throughout the last couple Maddens. So definitely, like when you go into we always talk about D Money. He's like the salesman that could sell you the worst guy, but make you think like you can't live without him. And talking about trade partners and stuff like that, like I'm kind of getting at is like, what do you look at when you go into trade negotiations? Are you looking to try to make it a fair deal, or I mean, obviously, we always want to get a better end of the situation, but what are you looking at for as a trade partner when you go into that situation?
So I'm a two-part answer. Part one, I'm a big proponent in real life of there's no such thing as reaching or guys falling. NFL teams' draft boards are a lot different than what media and fans perceive them to be. So with that, if you have a need and there's a trade that makes sense for both sides, I mean, theoretically, you should do that. I mean, obviously, there's trades that turn out lopsided, like the Pacheco trade last year or other trades that have happened. But if you have a need, there's no reason not to go fill that need. And so, like when I traded with you, I had a need at corner. I needed a second corner, and I was expendable at wide receiver. So who will that trade benefit more? I don't know, but it was the right move at the time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, looking at your draft board, I know we've talked about it some of the other guys' draft board, and you kind of put it out there that you said, we don't see guys fall down the draft boards like you would in real life, because every one of these guys, except for maybe a handful, do extensive research. And I mean, they know that the unrestricted free agent left tackle that's 21 and he's as strong as an ox, he's going to be, a hidden dev guy. So, you've got to, when you see that guy that you want, you got to make the call for him early on. So is that kind of how you approach the draft, or do you kind of like take need over maybe what would be like a surefire thing, or how you look at that?
This draft I wasn't as plugged in with it as I've been in the other drafts because I didn't have a first or second due to my trade-like nature. And I felt pretty confident about my team anyway, but it's hard to say because I think like in real life, if you're in a good position with a good roster, I think you take best player available. But in this league, there's certain positions you can't really get enough of. And I think stacking like a good secondary or stacking a good wide receiver room or a good O-line is a really good way to go. But for this draft in particular, I wanted to get a backup running back. My backups stink. So I wanted to get that change of pace guy, and I think I did, and Steve Curry. So yeah, that's kind of what I'd say.
All right. Awesome.
Well, Mr. Maniac is making his pick. I'll go one more question, and then we'll see if he's got any more for you. Give me a record prediction. What do we think is going to happen with your Colts?
So I think, unfortunately, I'm going to be the first person to predict something negative. I don't think I'm going to make the playoffs this season, and it's not because I wouldn't normally, but I won't. I've talked to you a little bit about it. I'll miss, depending on this advanced cycle, I'll miss 2 to 4 games. So that kind of puts me in a position where I have to like pretty much be perfect. Hopefully one of those weeks falls on my bye week, but I mean, I always think I'm gonna make the playoffs. I think I'm capable of doing that. So I just have to start off really, really hot and give myself some cushion. And if I do that, I mean, I'll say hopefully 10-7 gets me in, but I'm going to aim for better than that. But I'm kind of expecting at least 3 losses at CPU games right now.
Maniac, any last questions for our buddy before we move on to one of y'all?
Yeah, just one last question. It pertains to your division. How do you kind of like look at your division foes? Who would you say like is the most improved from last season? I know I've talked about Roger a lot, but Nicesonger I think has had some good moments as well. Like just kind of talk about your division a little bit and what you look and how you approach that division.
So the first 2 seasons, so we're going into the 5th. The first 2 seasons, Kobe won the division, and I was struggling. I'd kind of figured it out towards the back half of the second season, but kept the games close with Kobe, but he pulled them all out. And then the 3rd season, he was still plugged in. I figured it out on all Madden, and I think he beat me once, I beat him once, and I beat him in the playoffs. And then I know last season he kind of had whatever was going on. But so Kobe's obviously like that, the top dog in the division. And as far as Roger, I'm saying this on record, I would rather play, if there's a gun to my head and I had to win a Madden game, I'd rather play D-Money than Roger. I'm not kidding on that. Roger he has my number. He drives me insane with DeMarco particularly, but he's such a good team builder, and he's so much better than his record usually shows, and I'm so happy that he got to the playoffs. And when I'm saying that about Roger, it doesn't mean I don't like him. I love the guy. I just don't like playing him because he's a guy that just knows how to beat me.
You're on the clock.
Okay, I'm going to take a punter.
Do it.
Actually,
Poor
I'm
Raj.
taking a punter.
He couldn't pick anybody. Wouldn't let him pick again. Sucks, but coming to an end here. We got Joker. We got Tim. Skip. Big Hurt, who hasn't been here all night. Skip. Jay Glaze. Dim Brew. Skip. So just a couple more picks, and then we are wrapped up for the night. I will announce the schedule. Yeah, you're good. And then we'll talk to Trey and Maniac along the way as we wrap up the 7th round. I don't see anybody else that has jumped in here. And then, again, I'll announce the schedule and I will also work after I do my stuff on the incentives. I'll announce the incentives because I haven't got to that yet.
Oh,
My wife has texted me 10 times. Take out the trash.
My apologies. I'm making a pick now.
Punter. You gotta go get your Pat McAfee.
Got to, man. That dude's a character.
A character is one way to put it.
Yeah.
I was a big Pat McAfee
Here's my
fan,
question.
but he is. He's one note, man. And if you ain't hungry for that one note, I'm sorry, he's going to jam the one note right down your throat because that's all he's got. It's just he's sort of getting on my nerves now. It's like, come on, brother, back off the weed. All right, yeah, puff pass one too many times. Chill out a little bit.
My question: who's more of a character, Pat McAfee or Marquette King?
Wow.
I don't know how Marquette King is off the field, but on the field, that guy was something else.
Could you imagine those two in the same team?
Well, they couldn't. They're both punters.
Do you imagine Marquette King holding Pat McAfee's balls?
Well, not until you asked me that question, I couldn't. True, but Pat was a kicker in college, so he didn't punt until later on. So technically, I guess they could maybe be on the same team. We're over to the Cardinals, Tim, and then a couple of skips here. Any last questions for Mr. Randy?
I got nothing.
Good luck, man.
All right, let's talk to Mr.
Appreciate
Trey. Let's not act like he hasn't been here for 4 hours either. Trey, what was the mindset coming into the offseason?
It all changed when Jaden Daniels wanted a very, very cheap. As much as I had fun last season with Justin Tucker, when you're a star quarterback only $9 million a season, you don't look a gift horse in the face. So it's I immediately flipped back to going to Jaden Daniels and trying to build defense. I got a lot of money. I had like $120 million going into free agency. Picked up some needs, went out and got myself a star wide receiver in Puka Nacua, and added another star defensive tackle to put alongside my team.
Pause. Did you just call Puka Nacua a star wide receiver?
Yes.
How dare you, sir? His
Okay,
83
superstar
speed?
wide receiver. Fine. I'll upgrade it. And then I went and got Jalen Carter from the Eagles. Added along
that's a good one.
2 defensive tackles should be a nuisance for people that lack offense.
I run a 3-4, but I wanted that dude so bad, but he wasn't going to fit in a 3-4.
And then anybody that remembers my flashbacks to being with the Lions, when Malcolm Rodriguez hit free agency, I couldn't have run fast. So I've added some depth at the linebacker spot. I added some depth along the defensive line, and then I was just pretty much trying to figure out an offensive line scenario. I had Cam Robinson retire on me. Was planning to get rid of him anyway. Kind of a man, so I just had to go find somebody to try and play center for me. Hopefully I did that with a few draft picks I picked up. And then it was just kind of figuring out how to add to my already good defense, because my defense that was keeping me in games, I just knew I need to find the piece with the offense. I think adding Jaden Daniels, giving me the extra mobility back there at quarterback, make sure people can't just send the house on me like they had been. I feel like that might be the game-changing feat for me this offseason.
Guys, what you got for Trey?
Trey, how you doing? How you been? I was waiting to do that.
I'm doing fantastic. Not like I just haven't sat here for, umpteen hours.
my question or my statement for you, and I'm gonna keep it at one because I know we're taking down. But what is your message to the NFC East? I know you're a championship caliber team. and you've had a couple seasons with a command. What is your statement?
I was 8-9 last season. Don't expect that to be the norm.
Rick?
Randy, what you got for Trey?
Yeah, no, I'm piggybacking off what Maniac says. I mean, and kind of what you're saying, we all know you're capable of more than what you've done, and I don't think that's a like a I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't think that's indicative of the player you are. I think it's just the team that you got and figuring out how to play with them. What's the one thing you think that's going to make the difference for you to not finish 8-9 and to make a push for the division or the playoffs?
I think having wide receiver above 80 overall will help. I think having 2 star corners is going to help me. And I feel like adding the depth at the defensive line that I haven't really had a dominant pass rush, which has led me to get bullied in the passing game and let my corners kind of just get picked apart. I feel like having Jalen Carter in there will provide the pressure up the middle that will force guys to they're going to have to move. And I have linebacker. I have Nolan Smith that I went out and signed. I have planned to have him pass rushing in the rush packages. And just I feel like I've added the defensive key pieces that I needed that's going to help my corners not get picked apart.
For sure. It makes a lot of sense. Do you think you can challenge D. Wayne for the division this year?
Yes, I very much can. Both times I played Wayne with my budget squad, I was able to keep them close. Surprisingly, I don't know how. He has that tendency. He'd get out those leads on me, and unlike most teams that, you panic in those scenarios, I have the championship mentality that I've developed from my runs with the Lions that I don't give up until that clock hits 0-0. So I plan to, now that I have the upgraded on the roster, I have a better accurate quarterback, and I added the mobility back in my game, my quarterback, that I'll put some pressure on Mr. Wayne.
Well, I'm rooting for you, man. Do you guys got anything else?
It's going to be
I'm
it for
good.
me. I'm looking forward to see what you can do. It also does my heart very good to hear that you're keeping Jaden Daniels. It seems like that week 4 update not only screwed up our draft, but it also screwed up the contracts. And it seems like you were not the only one that got to benefit from that. I'm trying to make sure that we got the X factors turned back on, the abilities. Yes, they are turned back on. Everything else is off. We should be safe to get this thing going. I want to talk to Maniac, though, and do some interviews with him before we get everybody out of here. So, Maniac, go ahead and get us started. What was the mindset for the Buffalo Bills coming into the offseason?
Well, I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of cash, so try to make a move to get another wide receiver. My wide receivers, I got a couple of good wide receivers on the team, but it seems like throughout the last couple of seasons, it's either one's out for 7 weeks and they get him back, and then the other one goes out for 4 or 5 weeks. So I didn't have nobody to step into that second role while the other ones were out of the lineup. So was able to make a trade with Randy, got Downs over Buffalo. But I mean, really seriously, like we don't have a lot of cap, a lot of space, and our O line's aging. We got a couple of pieces on the O line, but there's a lot of pieces that are still lacking, and just struggled run the ball. And that's what I want to do. I want to run the ball, control the clock, and was able to do that the first couple of seasons, and then it's kind of fell apart since then. And but I was able to have pretty good consistency without Josh Allen when he went down for 7 weeks too this season. So the mindset was to move away possibly from him, start thinking about the next Madden. And but I still feel like this team can compete. But it is for sure known that the Patriots got better in this draft. The Jets are always getting better, and he does well in the free agency. And then you can never count out the Dolphins. He's always seemed like he's the top offensive guy around this league. So but I think I'm around the fringe. But definitely, my team has kind of struggled to maintain that top presence in the NFC East or the AFC East as the teams around me have kind of grown.
Fellas, what else we got for Maniac?
Not really much that I got.
Mr. Maniac, do you think your really good NHL hockey skills will help translate to the Madden field?
If I could move over what I've been doing on NHL and actually run the ball consistently, like I've kind of ran through the defense as a forward on NHL, then yeah, I could almost have that feeling of Dwayne presence in the running game, but I haven't had that much success in Madden so far. But I'm definitely going to be trying a couple of new things. I've also retooled my playbook coming into this season. Kind of took an inward look at my team, playbook wise, concept wise, because I'm going into the last part of the season. I started recognizing, like, okay, guys know exactly what I'm calling, and they were calling the correct defense basically to stop what I was calling. So I was like, okay, well, guys have gotten used to what I'm calling. I really haven't changed much anything up since the start of this Madden. So it's time to revamp this completely and go in a little bit different direction. So that's what we're going to see this season, and hopefully what has been happening in NHL correlates over to this last season in Madden.
Well, I was doing my training camp, and I kind of just threw something out there. So that really, I'm glad you had such an in-depth answer to a question that I thought of in 2 seconds. I wish you good luck this year, man.
Thanks, you too, man.
It's so funny. Hey, I'm not really paying attention to you, Maniac, but I'm going to throw something out of you just to keep you busy while I do something else. Maniac, you drafted a quarterback. You've got your eyes on taking him to your new team, but is he going to play at all this year? You're going to find some packages, anything for that kid?
I'm kind of leaning towards just throwing him into the fire and getting as much experience as I can get underneath him. I think he's, obviously he's not a Josh Allen, but got enough tools to be able to compete. I mean, I was competing with a 67 or 66 overall quarterback while he was out, and actually did better with that quarterback than I did Allen when he was in, surprisingly enough. So we'll see how it goes in the training and maybe how he plays. But I'm definitely leaning over, kind of turn the reins over to him. But I also will say that Josh Allen may not be completely gone from the fold yet. So we may have some packages for both of them as we go forward.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what you can do with him, and I appreciate all three of you hanging out with me tonight. Let me answer this question for Fleury.
Radio silence.
Yeah, it should be. This should be a fun season. This is the only time I get to wear my custom OMFL baseball jersey with my name on the back. So I love breaking this thing out whenever we have the draft shows. So the announcement chat has the announcements. I'm also going to ask the guys to post this in all of the division chats that they each have. But we are in preseason week 1. You can play your games. Injuries are off, fatigue's off, everything's off. You can move players around. You can do your training camp. You can set your lineup. You do all that. You may not sign players. No signings. None, zero, zilch. Don't do it. Nada. If the CPU signs someone, you need to cut them. You may cut players. You can move players. You can do all that stuff. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. East, we will advance to week 4 of the preseason. There, you may set your rosters. We'll sit there for 24 hours. Today is Tuesday, so we'll do that Wednesday to Thursday. Thursday night, we will advance to the regular season. it will be on Wednesday night that you can put in waivers for 75 overall and above and 74 overall and lower. You may sign free for all, first come, first serve. So go ahead and make your list right now and be ready with your little stupid buttons and all the little things that you're going to do whenever I advance at 8 p.m. Eastern, you bunch of freaks. I'm just kidding. I love you. And I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to have my list of players ready to go, begging the world to let me get them before you do. Should be fun. Let's go have some fun this last season. Abilities are on with All Pro. I feel like All Pro, if we go All Pro, you got to go abilities on. As much as I absolutely hate those gimmicky, weird, stupid, I just hate them. And All Madden, you can go abilities off because the players just play a little bit smarter. My hope is that next year's game plays very similar to this one. And I just tell y'all right now, we're going All Madden with abilities off. And those who just don't want to do it, don't have to do it. And they can move on and do something else. That's going to be up to them. But I still feel like the game played so much more enjoyable at that time. So let's go have a good time. Fellas, thank y'all all for joining me for the draft show. It sucked. It had its moments. But you know what? We got through it and we had a good time. So that's all that matters at the end of the day.
And
It was a good time.
Say that again, Maniac.
I said, and done before 9 p.m. Central Time.
And done before 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., all
We
the
might get some
PMs.
hockey in today. Yay!
We are done pretty well. All right, guys, let me go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to go do my off-season stuff. You guys enjoy your night. And then I guess you'll see me sometime Thursday as we start to kick off the new season. So it should be a lot of fun. All right, till then, take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. I love you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Deuces.
Smash that like and subscribe.